Hello.
Welcome.
We are the artist collective Assembly Required.
I am Danielle.
And I'm Ryan.
As artists, we believe ancient ritual, when reconfigured and reimagined, can powerfully address contemporary challenges.
We focus our practice on the festival of Sukkot, a week-long holiday when Jews build and spend time in ritual huts to remind them of the dwellings ancient Jews lived in during a time of major tumult, wandering the desert. With its partially open roof and strong walls, sukkahs have always been about both exposure to the elements and protection from them. It's a holiday rooted in the idea of finding strength in vulnerability.
This year, the challenge of the global pandemic felt like a ripe opportunity for us, as artists, to re-engage with this holiday.
Today we're going to walk you through how we employ ancient ritual as a springboard to create dynamic, contemporary, expansive experiences to address current problems.
Most of this talk will be about our current project, Sukkah In Place, our creative response to the pandemic. But we want to begin by introducing you to our previous project, A Wandering Sukkah, our response to the problems facing New Yorkers 5 years ago.
We always start a project with the version of this question: what is currently needed, and how can a sukkah meet that need?
In 2015, we decided that New Yorkers, stuck in the relentless forward momentum and heightened pace of city life, at a time when privacy felt like a rare and privileged commodity, required a space for solitude and reflection.
At a time when buildings in New York were expanding at an exponential rate, we decided our sukkah's design would be inspired by skyscraper architecture.
In order to reach as many people as possible, we designed our single-serving sukkah to fit on the back of a pickup truck.
You want to come try it out? Come on. Have you ever seen a sukkah before? No. Do you know what a sukkah is? I can tell you. Have you been inside yet? No. Oh, you gotta check out the sukkah. Yes, it's one at a time. Take a moment. It's called a wandering sukkah because after today, we're going to be driving it and parking it all over the 5 boroughs. It's a single occupancy fine art sukkah. You want to give it a shot?
Well, I see what.
Oh, it's different on the inside. You should give it a shot.
Wait, you got a woman in there for me?
No, we do not.
We created a colorful, inviting structure on the outside that welcomed visitors to look upward and enjoy the sky inside, a view New Yorkers rarely had the time or inclination to take in.
We purposefully had a host for each sukkah stop, ranging from the secular to the religious and everything in between.
Sukkahs traditionally are by and for Jews, but a lot of people don't realize that welcoming the stranger, an act known as Ushpizin, is actually a central theme of Sukkot.
All New Yorkers would normally see sukkahs during Sukkot, but very few stepped inside. We sought to change that. Whenever we embark on a project, we do a lot of research. We read ancient texts and investigate contemporary interpretations of all aspects of Sukkot.
For A Wandering Sukkah, that research led us to this quote.
I am but dust and ashes. The world was made for me. We wanted language inside the sukkah that presented it as both a humbling and empowering space, a portal between everyday life and the sacred, a moment of solace from the chaos of New York City.
5 years ago, we addressed the needs of all New Yorkers. Today, in this very specific moment, we decided to expand our vision to create a project for all people. The pandemic is a shared and unfortunate global experience. All of us, to some degree, are laboring under similar constraints.
So we began with this question: what does everybody need right now that a sukkah can provide? But pretty quickly, instead, we landed on this: what does every body need right now during the pandemic that a sukkah could help with?
The pandemic and Sukkot have a lot in common. They are experiences that are uncomfortable, vulnerable, and impermanent.
This fall, most people, Jewish and otherwise, will not be able to gather collectively for the holiday as they normally would, to share meals, recite prayers, and enjoy each other's company, as they have for centuries past.
So this year, we decided to focus on the human body as 2020 Sukkah, our most immediate, impermanent shelters which contain us. Like a sukkah, our bodies are temporary vessels exposed to the elements. They are our most intimate spiritual and physical dwellings.
And right now, in this time of extreme physical stress and uncertainty, all of us, in myriad ways, are seeking a feeling of shelter in our bodies, just like ancient Jews wandering the desert sought shelter in sukkahs.
And bodies, it turns out, are a central component of Sukkot, because we use them every year to engage in a very specific physical ritual during the holiday, a kind of sacred plant dance.
There are 4 species of plant life that we utilize during this dance. They are the etrog, the date palm, myrtle, and willow.
These materials are honored for their beauty, symbolism, and purpose. Especially the etrog, a rare and precious lemon-like citrus that observant Jews go to great lengths to procure in order to practice this ritual.
The date palm, myrtle, and willow are bound together in a special woven casing. Collectively, these 3 species make up the lulav.
As with everything in Jewish life, there are various interpretations of why the lulav consists of these items bound together. In order to find the most resonant reading for 2020, we turned to our favorite contemporary source of Jewish wisdom:
YouTube. And there we found our favorite rabbinical scholar of all things lulav and etrog, Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
We want to bring ourselves together. If we're falling apart, we want to hold it all together.
The idea of Sukkot as a way to embrace strength in adversity, confidence in vulnerability, has always existed, but it feels particularly appropriate during the pandemic.
Now we'll let Rabbi Finkelstein demonstrate this ancient Sukkot plant dance that is still practiced today.
And now I shake lulav. Are you ready? We shake lulav, we go in all directions. We shake 3 times, once, twice, 3 times. As we go forward and back, we're able to shake the lulav a bit. Then we go to the right, once, twice, 3 times. As we go each time, we shake. Go in the back, once, twice, 3 times. Go left, once, twice, 3 times. And then we go up, once, twice, 3 times. And we go down, once, twice, and 3 times. Toward the chest and away from the chest. That's how we shake the lulav.
What do these 4 species symbolize? As with everything in Jewish life, there is a range of opinion. One strain of thought argues that the 4 species represent 4 different kinds of Jews.
We bring together different types of Jews, those who have better smell and less smell, those who have more good looks and not so good looks, those who taste good and those who don't.
Another traditional interpretation understands the 4 species as stand-ins for parts of the human body. The etrog, the lemon look-alike, represents the human heart. The myrtle, because the leaves are small and oval-shaped, represents the eyes. The long and thin willow leaves represent the mouth, and the straight, elongated palm represents the human spine.
That explanation of the 4 species as rooted in the body really resonated with us, especially during this pandemic, a time of seismic focus on our physical selves.
But what about the shaking? Why not just point the species? Why shake them?
We asked some rabbis this question, and they didn't totally know. There isn't a definitive answer as to why observant Jews shake the four species.
So we decided to turn to people we consider the rabbis of the body, professionals deeply rooted in the body's relationship to movement, ritual, and meaning.
We're talking about choreographers.
Sacred movement as a part of religious ritual is as old as faith. In Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and countless other religions, physical movement is a critical component of prayer.
We don't often think about these movements as dance, or even question their origin. But in the year of COVID-19, we wanted to explore the potential of this shaking ritual.
The body can contain nonverbal wisdom, a physicalized knowing that we wanted to tap into for Sukkah In Place.
In order to better investigate this shaking ritual for the particular challenges of this moment, we invited 4 movement-based artists from different racial, religious, and dance backgrounds to produce work for Sukkah In Place.
Those movement artists are Hadar Ahuvia, Nehemoyia Young,
Londs Reuter, Verónica Santiago Moniello.
Our invitations were guided, like all our creative decisions, by the theme of welcoming the stranger.
We wanted to approach artists whose work would be new to us and who have a range of relationships to Judaism and Sukkot.
Everything from a choreographer deeply rooted in Jewishness to movement artists who had never encountered the holiday before, inviting them to be artistic authorities in traditional Jewish space. The only parameters for their contributions were that they focus on one of the 4 body parts represented by the 4 species and create 1 minute or less of filmic movement responses to the lulav and etrog ritual.
We gave them all the same video footage of observant Jews shaking the lulav and etrog. We did not offer any other guidelines. It was important for us that each of them was able to respond thoughtfully and authentically, guided by their own movement practice.
We are now so excited and grateful to get to share the responses to that prompt from these 4 remarkable artists.
We want to thank these marvelous artists for creating such thoughtful and powerful work.
Obviously, what you just saw was not traditional or kosher for Sukkot. But this is not a traditional time. This is a time that demands new approaches to the way we live our lives.
So with that in mind, this week, this Sukkot, we want to remind you that your body is a sukkah. It is your sacred container, your portal of exposure to the world, and your protection from it.
In the coming 7 days, all of us will have the same conversations we've been cycling through for months about fear and illness, our current and future lives, the challenges and singularity of this moment.
But during the next 7 days, we encourage you to focus less on those conversations. Instead, hone in on the shelter you're walking around in, your own physical body.
Ask yourself how it feels, what it needs, where it guides you. Does it keep you together, even in times this dangerous and uncertain?
Check in with your physical self this holiday, just like our movement artists did, and see what you discover about your most intimate shelter.
That is our offering and our challenge to you.
Chag Sameach.